Yeah, I know, we're late, but it was imperative, I assure you, that this week's episode get delayed.
Yes, to get the sweet, good movie review, ghetto-ass critic takes that you come here for.
I remember my first podcast. Actually, no, I don't, but welcome to Under the Bridge, everybody.
Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll, pronouns he, him.
And I am Greg, aka Greg, also pronouns he, him.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. So make sure to ring the like button, smash that bell, and share the video around if you're into that sort of thing, because it really helps us out, and we appreciate it. And in case you can't tell by the fact that I'm really struggling to do my podcaster voice, I'm tired.
I'm just black.
I'm just Ken.
My name's Pete.
Yeah.
We probably can't do that within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably not. So, some minor updates on the Netflix Warner Brothers Paramount fiasco, which is that Netflix has stated that it will adhere to the 45-day theatrical window if this deal for Warner Brothers goes through, and they also just updated their offer for Warner Brothers to be all cash. Suck it, Paramount.
I mean, is it though? Because that still means that Netflix wins.
Yeah, look, there's no real good winner in this situation, but Paramount is the worst possible option. And I'll have a lot more to say about that, ironically enough, during the movie review. Because I feel like that's the time to get into it.
Alright.
But you'll all see.
You'll all see.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Not necessarily of the movie.
No. No, not really.
Just in general.
Yeah, but if you are of a certain social clientele, maybe put off is putting it too kindly.
Okay, right, I had a bit of comics news, and it's really stupid.
Is Paul dead?
No, I said stupid, not great.
Look, man, a man can hope. A man can have hope for things.
Can you?
I try my best. Anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. No, so they're making a 5-issue limited series over at Marvel called Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Versity.
Spider-Versity.
Yes, it's got Spider-Man, the Miles Morales variant, Spider-Gwen, Silk, Aranya, Spider-Boy, and Spider-Girl being trained by Spider-Woman and Norman Osborn.
No! Are you fucking serious? Why is Norman Osborn allowed in the room?
Because he's a good guy now, because he was one of the people pretending to be Spider-Man while Spider-Man was off in space.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, there was a whole stupid thing where Norman got his sins juiced out of him or something by some magic spear, and now he's a good guy.
He got his sins juiced out of him. Oh, baby, this is why I don't read the comics.
No,
it's
valid.
like, how's that evil concentrate tasting? It's a little salty. Also really chewy for some reason, but it's liquid. I don't get it either, man.
Yeah, and then Peter temporarily got jabbed with the spear and got all of Norman's sins, and that's how he became the Spider-Man who gobbles, but...
The Spider... Please tell me that's not what he's actually called.
That's a fake name. That's a fake name.
Okay, thank God.
That's a made-up name.
Thank God.
Yeah, but it's mentioned in the synopsis that he and Spider-Woman are going to train them to meet the next threat, the only way the Green Goblin knows how, because the next threat might well be the Green Goblin, which is hinting that maybe Norman's going to go back to being a bad guy, in which case, I'm simultaneously thrilled but also disappointed. Because what took you so damn long?
Right. Also, why are we just completely disregarding the established, decades-long identity of this very noteworthy antagonist?
I mean, villains can turn it around. I'm not saying it's not possible. I am saying the way that it happened to Norman was very inauthentic and begging to be undone. So why should I have any investment in him being a good guy now when all that happened was somebody fucking just poked him with a spear? Oh, my sins are all gone. I am absolved. No, you're fucking not. You should be in prison.
I'm gonna poke it with a stick. Thing is, though, is that after getting poked with a stick, he survived the encounter.
You know, I think Kraven might have been involved, which makes that even funnier.
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty sure Sin Eater was responsible, but I think Kraven was involved. I don't remember. So, yeah, some major takeaways. Spider-Boy is still a thing, apparently.
Really?
And, I did not realize there was a Spider-Girl who is not Peter's daughter.
What? Is it MJ?
No, it's she's some kind of science experiment or something. I barely looked into it because the whole Spider-Boy thing is stupid and I hate it.
Okay.
Anyways, right, Star Wars news.
Oh boy.
I don't want to talk about this, but I feel like I have to.
Oh, that's a great start.
Because Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down as president of Lucasfilm. Dave Filoni is going to be leading the creative side of things over at Lucasfilm. Lin-Manuel Brannon is going to be sort of the more executive, the money and logistics person, basically.
Okay.
Which means, probably nothing, because a lot of the mandates are probably actually handed down from Disney, but it does mean that some of the worst, most insufferable people you know, aka dedicated Star Wars fans, are going to be
I was going to say
really
the entirety of the
insufferable.
Star Wars fan base.
You can't say the entirety. Star Wars is so ubiquitous that it's basically everybody, and yes, basically everybody is awful, but that's not the point that I'm trying to get at. The point is, the worst people you know are about to be absolutely insufferable because they've been calling for this for years.
Right.
In that regard, it's not too dissimilar from November 2024.
Do we know the nature of why Kathleen Kennedy stepped down, though?
I mean, she's been doing this for literal years, decades, so...
Oh, that's fair, actually. I keep on forgetting how long she's actually been at this.
Yeah, no. So, you know what? It's kind of like the same thing as the smug assholes who kept saying the superhero bubble was going to burst eventually, and they've been calling it since 2014, and only now, in like the last couple of years, are they kicking back going, yeah, we were right. It's like, yeah, but you were off by 10 fucking years, you dipshits. You don't get points for saying, oh, the sun's going to blow up tomorrow, and then in 4.5 billion years, when the sun finally blows up, you're going to kick your feet up and go, called it, yeah! But you were a little bit off on the timing.
I mean, I feel like it's also a thing if you're looking into what's causing that fatigue, it's not so much the number of projects, because if anything, there's been fewer projects for the last few years, but more so how the product has turned out.
No, but I think there's definitely an argument to be made that a lot of it is damage from the glut of content that was being made with not necessarily the same dedication to quality, and that we're only seeing the effects now because these things don't just flip overnight. Momentum has to build or decelerate, as it were. But that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
No, so, I don't know. I mean, as somebody who is passively a Star Wars fan in the sense of, I'll watch some of the things, but not everything, I don't see that this really matters, and I feel like Kennedy got scapegoated for a lot of decisions here.
Right.
And granted, part of that's just me giving her a lot of credit because she was a producer on some really great films and franchises. I mean, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Poltergeist, E.T., War of the Worlds, The Sixth Sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, producing's not the same as directing, obviously, but when your name's attached to that many quality movies, it comes with a certain degree of clout. Anyways, during her exit interview with Deadline, we also got a few updates on some things.
Oh boy, what Star Wars projects have been shit-canned this time?
You know me so well. Well, apparently James Mangold's project is on hold.
Is that the biblical Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Damn it, that was genuinely the one I was the most interested in.
Yeah. Taika Waititi has turned in a script that, according to Kennedy, is hilarious and great. Sure.
I feel like that's not encouraging.
Nah. Apparently Donald Glover's turned in a script. I think that might have been for a Lando movie.
Yeah, because I know that Solo, if I remember right, Solo didn't do particularly well, but I remember hearing that he enjoyed playing the young Lando Calrissian in it.
Yeah. And then, I didn't realize Simon Kinberg is apparently attached to make a trilogy. That's not good.
What do I know him for?
Producer on a bunch of the Fox X-Men movies, and then when he finally stepped into the director's chair, it was for Dark Phoenix.
Oh boy.
But there is one bit in here where it's like, okay, this is a little off, because she was asked about the possibility of Rian Johnson coming back, and she said, once he made the Netflix deal and went off to start doing the Knives Out films, that's occupied a huge amount of his time. That's the other thing that happens here. After Sean and I started talking about Star Wars, Stranger Things kicks in, and he was completely consumed for a while by that. That's what happened with Ryan. And then I do believe he got spooked by the online negativity. I think Ryan made one of the best Star Wars movies. He's a brilliant filmmaker, and he got spooked. This is the rough part. So, Ryan Johnson clapped back a little bit about that, which is, haha, yeah, no spooked here. Because that's a little off to say, yeah, I think he got scared off by the discourse. No, it's fuck you. Even if you were right, you don't have to say it.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah, no, I do think most of it's because, I mean, he's got Knives Out and is finding very good success and very good acclaim with that. Why would he go back to Star Wars just so we all can go, boo, hiss, you didn't reunite the trilogy before Carrie Fisher died?
You're right. Or just try to very naively go, I'll convince them that I know what I'm doing this time. Even though, because he did, episode 8, right? Just episode 8?
Yeah. Last Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, even though Last Jedi wasn't really that bad. None of the sequel trilogy movies were phenomenal, in all honesty, but Last Jedi was not that bad.
Last Jedi is only the second worst because Force Awakens took so many beats from A New Hope that it was very difficult for that to be outright bad. However, it is head and shoulders. It's an entire fucking person, not just head and shoulders, above Rise of Skywalker. AKA the unsatisfying conclusion to J.J. Abrams' shit sandwich.
So what, it's Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, and Episode 2 are the worst ones for you?
Let's see, it's Rise of Skywalker, having an eyelash be stuck in my eyeball for 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Most Jurassic Park movies, then The Last Jedi. I mean,
Fair.
Don't get me wrong, again, there are whole sections of The Last Jedi that did not need to be there and you could have taken that time and dealt with some other things. But The Last Jedi also had one of my favorite bits in Star Wars anything. That being Rey Nobody, only for J.J. Abrams to Palpatine all over it. Sorry, Sheev all over it. But
down, Sheev, down, Sheev.
Holy shit. Alright, I'm canceling the rest of this. Bye, everybody.
I've done it! I've taken over the podcast!
Nah, I'm kidding. You'll have this when you pry it from my cold, dead hands.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyways, yeah, look forward to seeing what Filoni does. Can't wait to see how, when Star Wars doesn't immediately fix itself overnight, the same assholes calling for her to step down for the last, I don't know, ages start bending over backwards, sucking Filoni's dick about how it's not his fault.
Right.
No, Mr. President. Inflation started with Biden.
Ugh.
Sorry, I got a little ahead of the game. It's coming later.
Is it now? Oh, wait, that's right.
I can't... With the movie we're talking about, I can't not. I can't not, Greg. You know it's coming.
That's fair, I guess.
We just watched Silent Hill Revelation. Jon Snow was there. Winter is coming.
Make sure to check out our Cinema Synergy on Silent Hill Revelations and listen to us both suffer while trying to talk about it.
Yeah, that'll probably be out this weekend, hopefully. I don't know. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I got one last thing, and it's a couple of baby updates from the barrel of James Gunn.
Oh boy.
Alright, turns out that Mr. Miracle animated series that's being worked on is apparently going to be set in the DCU, so that's interesting.
Okay.
You familiar with Mr. Miracle?
No, not at all.
Alright, so...
Strap in.
Darkseid is from Darkseid is from Apocalypse, right? And Apocalypse is opposed by New Genesis, led by Highfather.
Is there a character named the Old Testament in this? What are these names?
No. But are you familiar with the television show Wife Swap?
Isn't that the reality TV show where, like, they swap wives in 2 different households?
Very astute. Well, Highfather and Darkseid did something similar, but with their kids. And that's why Orion, son of Darkseid, lives on New Genesis and tries his best to be a hero. Meanwhile, Scott Free, son of Highfather, was sent to Apocalypse, where he was routinely tortured by Darkseid, allowing him to become the universe's greatest escape artist as he kept constantly trying and failing to escape the torments that he was subjected to. Without his consent, I'm pretty sure, because New Genesis is also pretty fucked up.
Okay. Alright.
However, he also managed to convert one of Darkseid's bodyguards, one of the female Furies, Big Barda, over to his side, and now they're very happily married, so good for him.
Okay.
Anyways, that's interesting. Apparently, the plan is not for Darkseid to be any kind of big, overarching villain for the DCU, which, good, you need to let that sit for a while after Justice League.
Right. Racially charged.
Ooh. Boy, isn't it just.
Yeah.
Wait,
no, that's not what I was trying to go for. God damn it.
We'll get to that. It's coming. Boy, howdy now.
Boy, howdy now.
Anyways, the other big update is people have been aghast and insistent and just will not shut up, being 100% sure that Batman and Wonder Woman are being cast for Man of Tomorrow, and James Gunn came out and said, no, that's not happening. Which, good.
Yeah, good.
Don't get me wrong, I want a new Wonder Woman, and I want to know what's going on with Batman, but it does not need to be in the Superman sequel. That is literally how we got here in the first place. It's like y'all have learned nothing.
Yeah, but we like, well, I don't know. Do you think there's some inspiration from how the Batman did and how we got that version of Batman?
Maybe, I don't know. There is apparently a major female role being cast for Man of Tomorrow, though, and now that Wonder Woman's been debunked, everybody has pivoted to Maxima, which, that could be funny if true.
Who or what is Maxima?
She's an alien queen who wants to make babies with Superman.
Giggity?
Yeah, she goes from being a bad guy to being a good guy, and I think she might be a bad guy again. I don't really know, because, DC keeps rebooting and reverting, and it's just a whole thing.
Fair enough.
Anyways, this is she.
Wow, she looks like she's from the 80s.
I think she might be from before then? I don't remember. Hold on a second.
Alright.
I mean, wants Superman to make babies with her sounds like it might be Silver Age. Nope, 1989! Get on! Hell yeah!
Dokken just starts playing aggressively in the background. It's like...
Woo!
Oh, that's funny.
So anyways, we'll see how that goes. That's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to Man of Tomorrow as much as I'm looking forward to anything that's supposed to happen next year.
Oh boy.
Huh. Let's go to trailer time!
Let's go to trailer time.
It's trailer time again! So, anyways, I just want to talk about the last Avengers Doomsday trailer, even though that came out well over a week ago now.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, this is the closest thing to what I want out of an Avengers teaser. Which is, different characters interacting with each other. I don't give a fuck about Steve Rogers. I guess Thor being back is alright, but there was nothing in the Thor trailer that couldn't have just been an advertisement for a fucking Thor movie. I don't care about the X-Men, we've been over that. But getting a little bit of the Wakandans interacting with the Fantastic One is pretty cool.
I say, didn't you say a few years ago that you would have killed to have M'Baku become the king of Wakanda?
I would have killed to have him be Black Panther.
Oh, fair.
Him being the king is fine, though.
Okay.
I think M'Baku was maybe the second best pick for Black Panther if they weren't going to recast T'Challa. I think the best one would have been Okoye, but if you're not going to do that, then it was M'Baku, then it was Nakia, then it was nobody.
Then it was nobody, and then it was Shuri. No, then it was a hot dog, and then it was Shuri.
No, actually, you know what? Above nobody, there was Bring in Casper Cole. And then there was nobody. And then there was Shuri, but only because Shuri was Black Panther in the comics, but
really?
Shuri's also a pretty different character in the movies, so I feel like it didn't fit.
Okay.
And I still feel like it wasn't the best pick, but again, Wakanda Forever was a good movie, so, I've evolved a bit past that mindset. I'm just recapping where we're at. And then at the very bottom, there was Ross.
Oh.
No, wait, I'm lying. First there was Bring Back Killmonger, and then there was Ross.
Man, could you imagine if they got Ross to be Black Panther?
Terrible idea. That's why it's at the bottom of the list. But no, yeah, this looks interesting. At least we're actually getting a feel for things, because it looks like Talakon's been absolutely fucked.
Alright.
Namor is just sitting on a throne above water, which implies, the oceans are drained somehow. Must be to make room for all the AI data centers.
So Night Patrol.
Well, hold on. I was. Do I have anything else? No. It's just okay. This is almost what I want from an Avengers trailer. It would just be nice if any of the actual fucking Avengers were in it.
Right.
Because none of these characters are the Avengers. yet.
Do the Fantastic Four become part of the Avengers in any capacity in the comics?
Reed and Sue very briefly joined at one point.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they left very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Thing... I feel like Johnny's the only one who's never been part of the Avengers, but I cannot remember when the Thing would have joined. So...
Fair, yeah, just because it's a thing of, from what the Fantastic Four are, their composition, and the personalities of their respective characters, I have a hard time seeing that the team as a whole becoming part of the Avengers.
I think we've had more Avengers be Fantastic Four members than we have had Fantastic Four members be Avengers.
Really?
Well, I guess that depends on how you count Spider-Man, because, I mean, She-Hulk was part of the Fantastic Four, Ant-Man was part of the Fantastic Four,
okay.
Spider-Man was part of them. I guess maybe it's a tie.
Okay, as I say, I did not know that.
Yeah, no, because Scott Lang led to the whole thing about that one Herbie who dresses up as his sleep paralysis demon, Dr. Doom.
God, that's still just pure evil.
What the fuck?
It's really funny, but it's pure evil.
I'm kind of pissed off that never gets brought up in the comic run. I know it's supposed to be like a funnier comic title, but the fact that this Herbie just dresses up as Dr. Doom to wake Scott up, while Scott's there partly as a way to help cope with Dr. Doom having killed his daughter, and this Herbie floating up to him pretending to be Dr. Doom just does not get addressed. What the hell? That's psychotic.
That is pure evil.
Speaking of pure evil, alright, now let's go to Night Patrol.
Oh boy, Night Patrol.
So, this is a movie that I have now seen twice, which, yeah, because I saw it, and then I came to Greg, and I said, please tell me you watched this movie.
Yeah, so I was planning on seeing it the previous weekend, but unfortunately on the day that I was going to go see it, I basically cooked something as not to the degree that I should have, and I ended up making myself sick. So it was one of those things where that's not happening. And then Cody comes to me and asks if I had seen it, and I told him, it's like, yeah, I hadn't, because I made myself sick. He goes, I can't have a solo opinion on this movie. I'm like, what do you mean by that?
I am not allowed to have an opinion on this movie by myself without coming across as what the Offspring might call trying to be pretty fly for a white guy.
Yeah, so that was the thing of, alright, well, because I've, of course leading up to it, I looked into it a little bit. Relatively small project. It stars the two main people of note on my end that I know of in it are Freddie Gibbs and Flying Lotus, who are two... Well, Flying Lotus is a hip-hop producer. Freddie Gibbs is a very established rapper who's always talked about wanting to be in movies, horror movies in particular. So I'm just like, alright, it sounds kind of fun. But seeing that it's getting middling reviews, I'm like, I don't know. And then he comes to me with that, I'm like, alright, if it's one of those things, and especially considering that I'm going to be going on a mini vacation here and I won't have time to really see anything because of that, might as well go see it. And we worked time around, and boy howdy, was this movie an experience.
Yeah, and I'm glad you were able to see it, because otherwise, again, I wouldn't have been able to talk about it. Anyway, what's jiving, homies?
No, we're not doing that here. We are.
I'm sorry.
We are not.
I'm so sorry.
How do you do, fellow gangsters?
How do you do, fellow Crips?
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna get fucking shot.
So, if you can't tell, based partially on that, the premise of this movie is that it takes place in South Central LA, centering on... So one of the annoying things about this movie, Cody's better at remembering people in movies than I am, and anyone who's watched this show or listened to the show for a while knows that I struggle with actor names. All the cast lists that show the cast for this movie do not have the names of the characters they play next to it, and that's very frustrating, because it's not like, I can just whip out my phone in the movie theater and record the credits.
Yeah, so, okay, I think the main character is Wazzy, played by R.J. Seiler.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be the main character. That he is...
I mean, it's kind of an ensemble piece.
Yeah, like, he's definitely... Well, I say supposed to be because it's an ensemble piece, and while there's definitely, like, primary characters, the way the movie is set up and the way it's written, all the more prominent people do get pretty significant time in the spotlight, to the point where it's almost an assassination classroom setup, but not anywhere as good, admittedly. Where the main people who are important get such equal and prominent screen time that you could be forgiven for thinking that somebody else was the main character, especially with how each individual person's story intertwines with each other in the last 30-40 minutes of the film.
Yeah, I don't think it becomes readily apparent who the main character is until the third act.
Yeah. But yeah, Wazzy is played by R.J. Cyler. He's a young Crip in South Central Los Angeles who doesn't really have his life together in any way. And, God almighty. This is a weird movie to try and do the premise on, honestly.
Alright, look, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off and at least give away the basics. It's Bloods and Crips versus white vampire cops.
Yes. I was trying to think of a more getting their way of describing it, but yeah, that's it. That is exactly what it is.
Yeah, this movie takes a little bit to build up, but it's pretty unapologetically Bloods and Crips versus white vampire cops. And I'll just jump right ahead. I put this in This Is Decent.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought maybe I was being a little generous, but having seen it twice, no, I think that's fair, because I'd even say I'd watch it again, but it's certainly not a particularly great movie.
No, it's not a good movie. If to kind of break it down a little bit, it's not a particularly good movie. The acting is not terrible, but it's not phenomenal by any stretch, other than one really good joke.
There's some pretty terrible bits, but there's also some real standout moments.
There's some standout moments. There's a few zingers. There's one really good one just because you can see how dead on the inside the person is. Some of the set pieces aren't great. This feels like a movie that should... As I was thinking about this movie after we saw it and replaying some of the scenes in my head, this is the kind of movie that I feel like would be better enjoyed not on a big screen in a movie theater, but more as a VHS in a CRT television.
Ooh, yeah, like a Blockbuster rental.
Yeah, but also the aesthetic. There's a particular moment that I replayed in my head during the last third, where it's the whole thing of a few characters talking about their plan, and there's a camera in place, like, circling to each one as they talk, which was shown in some promotional material leading up to the movie's release on YouTube, so I don't feel bad talking about that bit. But that was for a particular moment, in coupled with the lighting, I was going, I feel like this would be much better if it was like a VHS on an old CRT television. That is definitely what this cinematography and aesthetic style leans itself towards.
Well, I do really respect the fact that they filmed it in such a way that it still got that film grain on it, because I feel like if they tried to go HD, it would have been demonstrably worse.
Yeah, no. And all of that, because, like, again, this is not a particularly good movie. But what it is very committed to and unrelenting to, that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more when we get to spoilers, it is not subtle about its messaging. It is about as lowbrow as a flamethrower to the crotch.
I wouldn't call that lowbrow. I'd call that just obvious.
Yeah, it is not subtle. It is not apologetic. It is very committed to the overall messaging that it is going for. A lot of which is written in 60-year-old blood. Probably older blood than that, in all honesty. So...
Oh, definitely older than that.
Yeah. So yeah.
I will say there's no reason for Justin Long to be here. I'm sure he probably helped with getting funding for it, but boy howdy, he is not great.
So that's actually the funny thing, because everything that I'm seeing... Now, granted, I have a feeling that's probably more focused on Wazzy's brother, or one of the other characters that we'll get to. I don't know if this is a major spoiler. But the descriptors that I'm seeing online are things like, an LAPD cop discovers a dark secret about a particular unit in the department. And I'm like, if that's supposed to be Justin Long's character, I don't know if that's what we're going for here.
Yeah, no, the film description is deceptive as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
no.
I'd feel bad blowing the whistle on the whole vampire thing, except when you look at the Night Patrol poster on Wikipedia, there's clearly fangs. It's a skull in the shape of fangs. It's clearly vampires.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not apologizing. Neither is this movie.
No, not at all. So, again, there's no standout acting per se in this, but I'm very biased because I enjoy his music quite a bit, even though from what I understand, the dude's tiny bit of a weirdo. Freddie Gibbs is unintentionally hilarious a lot of the time in this movie. It's like the moments that he's trying to be funny are not super funny, but the moments when he's not are pretty fucking funny. So he was fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a particular descriptor for that's escaping me at the moment, but it's very much a lot of the comedy is from his performance, and I'm not entirely sure all of it was intentional, but pretty much all the time that he's on the screen is great.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm trying to find the name of the guy who plays Yazzie's brother in this. Is that RJ?
Oh, that's Jermaine Fowler.
That's Jermaine Fowler?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. Alright, yeah, the lighting of the picture that they have for his Wikipedia page does not help on that regard.
No.
Yeah, okay, cool. Excellent.
Okay, so one thing I will say is that the reason why this is decent is because there are some moments that are really good, not just in the ironic, haha, this is a cheesy horror movie way.
Mm-hmm.
There are some scenes in this movie that made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why? What are you apologizing for?
Well, not for anything that I particularly did, just
oh my god.
in general.
Fair.
But, no, yeah, because of that, I put this is decent. Because, and I think that's pretty incredible that this movie, despite the less than stellar performances in cases, and despite some of the really wonky camera work and lighting, this still managed to land squarely in this is decent. It's not really up for debate for me. Like, I'm not gonna bump it any lower, because I mean, for crying out loud, I saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah, definitely not gonna bump it up any higher.
And it lands there pretty much entirely on the strength of it being blunt, relentless, and unapologetic in its messaging, which I'm sure will piss some people off. I don't fucking care. Because
some of you will get pissed off, and that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Because, not to put too fine a point on it, but this is the section of the podcast where I now have a real good excuse to bring this up. We are several weeks into they were supposed to release the entirety of the Epstein files, and they haven't done it yet because the president is almost definitely in a good chunk of it. So we have a deranged, demented pedophile in the White House threatening to invade Greenland, alienating all of our allies, and sending fucking ICE agents to terrorize people under a just absolutely bonkers racist campaign of hatred. So, I don't fucking care about being subtle right now. I don't care about being nice or polite. I don't give a flying fuck. And if you don't like that, there's the virtual door. I'm literally pointing at it. Don't let it hit you on the way out, which it can't because it's not fucking there.
Right.
Sorry, lost the happy, but the happy's back, and that's also part of why I keep clowning on Paramount, because not for nothing, they're already in the process of dismantling CBS in 60 Minutes, and the idea of them also getting CNN and doing the same thing there, turning that into a propaganda machine, fills me with actual bile. But back to Night Patrol.
I was wondering, it's like, wait, what does Paramount have to do with this? Because this is was a Universal movie?
It is, but the reason I bring it back up is because the guy in charge after the whole Skydance merger is somewhat buddy-buddy with the fucking commander in the incompetent. I'm trying to come up with a I'm trying to come up with a shitty way to say the president.
Yeah.
But fuck it, the president.
Right.
Huh. You think we should go to spoilers?
Sure. I can't think of anything else really to get into.
All right. In that case, before we do real quick, the question of should you go see it, I think yes, definitely. I cannot offer any higher praise than, despite some of the basic structural weaknesses of this movie as a movie, I saw it twice.
Yeah.
And I don't regret seeing it twice.
I think this is a you should watch it movie, not necessarily a should you go and see it, if that makes sense.
Alright, yeah,
in large part because of the messaging in this film, I do like this film quite a lot. It's just the kind of thing where, as much as I like this film, could I in confidence tell someone, hey, go spend $14, $15, $16 to see this? Even I would struggle to do that.
That's fair, that's fair. I am filtering my response from the perspective of I don't really have to pay for movie tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm not bumping it down to don't pay money to see this because that does it a disservice.
Yeah, no, but that's why I said, I think that's part of the reason why I also mentioned before, too. It's like, this is the kind of thing where if it comes to rental service and you have a HDMI to AV converter, a reverse converter, yes, those do exist. You should absolutely buy one. Figure out some way to have the platform that's streaming on go to your CRT television and watch it that way. Or your projector, either way. Like, you should pay money to see this. I just don't know about shelling out the expense of doing it in theaters. And also, someone's going to go, it's like, that's more money than seeing it in theaters. Like, yes, but in my opinion, that's a better experience. And you can use that setup to torture your friends with other weird shit from the 80s and 90s. So there you go.
It's the principle of the thing.
Yes.
So if you don't want to get spoiled any further on Night Patrol, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm actually a little bit pissed off. Not at this movie, but at myself.
Oh boy.
Because this movie just solidified that I have the most in-depth takes on the dumbest fucking shit. Because I came out of this going, oh, I mean, yeah, some of the actual, movie aspect of it is a little shoddy, but I really respect the hammering in not just of the futility of internal reformism for corrupt institutions, not just in assimilating yourself into the culture of your oppressors in a vain hope of acceptance, but in the increasingly pointless feeling struggle against white authoritarianism itself, using vampirism as an easy metaphor for the predatory trappings therein. Where the fuck was this during Oppenheimer? What the fuck?
With Oppenheimer, it's like, oh yeah, this is a good fucking movie.
I'm sitting here doing an intellectual dissertation on goddamn Night Patrol. Meanwhile, any vaguely artsy movie? Nah, fam, can't engage with it, sorry.
How's acting going? How does it look?
How does it look like?
So in fairness, because I did think about that for a little bit after you mentioned it, I think even though this movie is definitely a collection of ideas, some of which were realized, most of which were not executed particularly well, I feel like that this movie does better in creating things to talk about because it is so against the grain. Oh God, remind me who did Oppenheimer?
That would be Christopher Nolan.
Okay. Anyone who's seen any one of Christopher Nolan's works and who has even a small idea of how big of a contribution and arguably detriment Oppenheimer and the work on the nuclear bomb. Oppenheimer. I got your hinder right here.
Right in the hinder.
Right in the hinder. Anyone who has a passing idea of the contribution and arguably detriment that the nuclear bomb and nuclear weapons in general have done to society since the end of World War II, you can kind of put those two ideas and those concepts together and have a decent idea of what the end product will be, and it's kind of to be anticipated. I think with this movie, personally, because this is a much lower budget film, that's definitely a lot more creatively free in its execution, and also is not apologetic on what it's going for. That creates a little bit more discourse, because, at least for me, with how much craziness is going on, the movie is almost so unserious that you can't help but think about the central subject matter of what it's going for.
Yeah, this is a movie that said subtlety, nah, that's for pussies.
Yeah, for real.
And it has my respect for not playing around with it. For just getting right to the subject of, yeah, this is the situation. Especially because it's a situation that is increasingly harder to argue with. And that's why specific scenes, like Night Patrol barging into people's houses and dragging them out or shooting them in their own homes, is really fucking uncomfortable. Not the least of which because it's filtered in an X-ray vision kind of thing, with the express intent of dehumanizing the subjects you're watching. Holy fucking shit. That's good. That's fucking gangbusters right there.
It is also, I feel like, definitely referencing the footage that you see of night raids, in both the aspect of police raids and also in kind of my areas of interest in military operations, where you see the heat vision or X-ray vision of particular night raids going down, and you don't really see the subject, but you see the heat that's coming from them. That kind of deal. where it's a thing, there's a connector here and, like, things that you've seen on the news or anything like that, too, of, like, raids going down. So that all also adds to the general uncomfortableness of what it's going for.
Yeah. So I feel like to break down that extended dissertation I led the spoiler section with, Justin Long's character used to be Special Ops, now he's a cop, and he's looking to get into Night Patrol because he suspects that Night Patrol had something to do with his dad's death, and he looked up to his dad as a hero and another cop. God, this movie does such a good job painting cops as just another fucking gang. I love it.
Yeah, especially with Night Patrol being seen as the gang task force. Night Patrol is the unofficial name for, like, this particular part of the LAPD gang task force.
Yeah. And then, when he gets in, having compromised, well, not compromised his morals, we don't necessarily know that he had any, but certainly having done some shady shit, including shooting a, I almost said innocent, but I feel like, can you really say someone's innocent if they're expressly in a gang like the Bloods or the Crips? But on the flip side, they definitely had no cause to actually shoot her in the head when they fucking did.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, definitely innocent.
Yeah, it's the thing of, like, even if you're not innocent, probable cause does exist.
Yeah, you still need to have a trial. You need to have due process, said for no particular reason of anything going on here in America at the moment, although you know what I'm talking about because I went on that rant earlier. Anyways, when Justin Long actually gets to the top, he finds out, oops, nope, his dad's the one leading the vampire conspiracy, and he gets forcibly converted and turned into a tool against this community. No symbolism here.
Yeah, it really is just hearing that out loud is just a thing of,
Again, why can't I ever get this for bigger releases? Why does my brain only turn on for this kind of stuff?
I'll be curious to see what your brain cooks up with Avengers Doomsday.
Probably nothing. It's probably shutting off for that. It's probably just gonna be, alright boys, take a vacation.
Oh, so it's gonna be me with episode 9 of Star Wars.
I think we'll see. Shall we talk about the best line in the whole movie?
Yes.
So, I'll do the lead up. Because Justin Long's character has been bumped up to Night Patrol, Xavier, that's the
name of the character.
That's the other cop, Jermaine Fowler's character.
Yeah.
He gets assigned a new partner who's a total fucking idiot. Just a boorish, obnoxious, dumb fucking white guy.
Yeah, know-it-all, but doesn't know shit.
And when they go to get lunch, he ends up holding his sandwich with one hand and taking a big bite out of it that causes part of it to fall out the other end. And as his partner is cursing out his bad luck and poor sandwich handling, going, fuck me, you just get Jermaine Fowler staring at him with the most exhausted, done with your shit look. And he just says, yeah, I remember my first sandwich.
It's so good. It's so good. It's just, he nails the whole, just completely dead on the inside. Because it's also right after he takes a call from his brother Yazi, kind of confirming...
Wazi,
yeah. Kind of confirming the fears he had that his brother is involved in the overarching murder that's kind of moving the plot along at that point. So he's got that going on, and he's also, like, internally established, like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to go back into Crip territory, because he grew up as a Crip, and find my brother and see my mom and all that. And it's just all of that, and then he turns around to see his chuckle-fuck partner just completely mess up eating a sandwich, and the level of, I can't believe this is my life now, going on there is just palpable.
Okay, but I also like how they show that Xavier is also not a particularly good guy.
Oh, no.
Because, A, he's a cop who's desperately trying to find acceptance from the other cops, but also because literally the first scene we get with him is Justin Long's cop is doing one of those assemblies at school where it's like, alright kids, let's rap for a bit, I'm gonna sit backwards on this chair to show that I'm hip with the youth.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is lit. Talking about the negative perception of cops in media and going, but most of us are good people. Most of us are good ones. It's just, fuck off with that few bad apples bullshit. The whole fucking point of that phrase is a few bad apples spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
You literally cannot just pick out the bad ones. That's the whole point of that phrase, you stupid fucking fascist apologist.
Mm-hmm.
But then Jermaine Fowler busts in disguise, pretending to be a criminal, and absolutely fucking humiliates one student.
While
firing blanks in a school.
While firing blanks from a fully automatic MAC-10 into the school.
And, God, just afterward he's like, proactive policing. Fuck you.
Yeah, no.
So I enjoy that he is also not great, and his quest for acceptance is also for naught, because the people he wants to be accepted by also fucking suck.
Yeah, and very clearly have disdain for him, in no small part due to the color of their skin. And before you go, well, it's not... No, the movie is very clear about that. The movie does not pull any punches on making the cops out as being racist assholes.
Yeah, and again, I respect it. The vampire fight is very futile.
It is. Is that part...
That's part of the metaphor, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure, especially like the very last bit of the... Well, actually, no.
It's almost like they get to slaughter indiscriminately and walk away from it with no real consequences whatsoever. Huh. That felt like it got a little real for a second. Oh well.
Sorry, lost the
veneer of civility, but the veneer of civility is back! Alright, let's go!
Yeah.
I finally found the podcaster voice again. I'm back in it!
Yeah, just for the most depressing part of it all.
Woo!
So...
No, not that again.
Yeah. It definitely is a thing of, like, the movie... Wait, what was being talked about before that?
The futility of fighting the vampires?
Oh, yeah. A little bit, for sure. It's definitely part of the overall messaging in this movie. Just the whole deal of, they have nothing on us but our blackness and all that. And I'm just like... I know what you're going for, and I very much abide by it, but again, it's hard to do that against actual blood-sucking creatures of the night.
Look, man, lots of foul creatures of the night suck blood. That's not necessarily the definitive factor for a vampiric classification.
Remedial! I know it's not that character.
That's so good.
I know it's not that character who says that line as a retort. I know it's Freddie Gibbs during the whole like powwow of what they're doing further on. But God, that was so funny because there's okay. So to kind of give a little bit about me talking about Freddie Gibbs earlier, Freddie Gibbs leads a small group of Bloods that are also genuinely believe in supernatural shit, conspiracy theories, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Flying Lotus is one of the guys in the group as well, because this all stems from Wazzy going to Freddie Gibbs and telling him about how his sister got shot, his sister being the woman that shot at the very beginning of the movie, and explaining it's like, there's something really off about this. And then the Bloods there just start going into lizard people and all other kinds of weird, supernatural, funky-ass nonsense. And... Wazzy just starts insulting the one guy, and he's just like, you might actually be the dumbest motherfucker I've ever met in my life.
That was good.
It was really fucking funny. And, like, honestly, that particular group are definitely the most entertaining people to follow, in large part because of them being fully into the weird shit that they believe in, the moments that kind of come from their personalities, the suiting up and getting their guns montage was funnier than it probably was trying to be, because we're watching these guys all strap up, get guns, body armors, and stuff like that out of literal refrigerators. I definitely feel like it's supposed to be referencing John Wick in some way, like the suiting up scenes that we see in those movies. And in large part because usually like they get like their guns and all that. But we also have Freddie Gibbs holding a double-sided axe and just going all wide-eyed at it. I was just like, all right, this is pretty funny. This is pretty.
Yeah,
good
that was a good bit.
Yeah, and also unironically having a suicide vest as well.
Oh yeah, because he blew himself up.
Yeah, he blew himself up once he became outnumbered, basically, when he realized that he wasn't going to be able to destroy all the killer cops that were coming for him. Killer vampire cops, for the sake of the NSA. And he's like, alright, well, fuck you guys. And then just blows himself up, and hopefully all the vampire cops that are coming for him. Because it is established that these vampires can regenerate from some really gnarly wounds, it has to be said.
Oh, yeah.
Give them a few minutes and you just come right back up and all that. It's pretty nutso.
And then even the very end is definitely not an optimistic one.
It's not an optimistic one, but it is kind of one of showing, as long as you have the will and hope and all that, it's not over until it's over. I think that's what they were trying to go for at the very end. Although, definitely...
Yeah.
Again, referencing the whole thing of conforming to oppressors and trying to make very clear, if you help the bad apples stay the way they are, then you're just prolonging the suffering, because the movie ends on Wazzy being arrested and in an interrogation room with, I think, the chief of the precinct, who's a black police chief, and Wazzy just looks at him and goes, "They're vampires, man." Oh yeah, they are. There's vampires here. There's this and that and all this other stuff here, but it's all LAPD, so we're all in this together. Ugh. So yeah.
And that is why I was not holding back on rants this week, because I figure the literal least I can do is just remind everybody that the shit currently going on right now, not in the movie, yes in the movie, but also in the US in particular, is not, and should never be, fucking normal.
Yeah. No, the people who made the movie, the writers, all that are, again, they're very clear as to, what they're trying to go for here. It's definitely messy in parts, that's for sure, but you can definitely tell that the writing and all that was done from a place of caring, but also just deep-seated frustration and anger at the general place that they themselves and we find ourselves in. Again, some of it doesn't really translate very well to a particular movie-going experience, but there is no mistaking what they're trying to signify here.
Right, and that sincerity, that genuine emotion, that righteous indignation, that is what bumps us up to this is decent for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's honest.
Yeah.
This is an honest fucking movie.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, but it is an honest...
No, I think it's good. It's just not great.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a good movie, it would end up in either it's stupid and terrible but I'm about it, or it would end up in don't pay money to see this. Or maybe even in try asking again. But, at least for me, this is firmly in the good movie territory, in the sense of, there are definite weak points, but as an overall experience, it is perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
And again, I watched it twice, so I kinda...
Well,
I kinda can't...
For what it's worth, I asked you to watch it twice, because I'm just alright, I kinda want to know what I'm missing out on, but I feel like if this man is saying I can't have an opinion about this by myself, alright, well, I feel like that by default, I am compelled to see it with him, just so I know that we're on the same page.
Yeah. But I could have said no. I could have just said, no, I don't know that I have it in me to watch it a second time. You go on ahead, we'll talk about it later. But I saw it twice, and that's why it's in the upper tiers for me. The lowest of the upper tiers.
Yeah.
But still in the upper ones.
Right.
I don't know, you got anything else?
Not particularly.
Alright. In that case, thanks so much for listening, everybody, and especially for bearing with. You know what to do. You already know when to do it. There is not going to be an episode next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because Greg's going to be out of town, and because of that, our social group is pushing back watching Return to Silent Hill until he gets back. But
we will talk about that in due time.
And Iron Lung probably that same week.
Oh, that is that same weekend, isn't it? Or the following weekend.
Well,
rather.
It's the following weekend, so... But don't worry, we got a Cinema Synergy coming out later this weekend, and because Wonder Man is coming out, I'm going to throw together a Poorly Explained Comics. Maybe I'll throw some more together depending on what happens in that show, we'll see, but at the very least, we're getting another episode, so, look forward to that, I guess.
Yay.
Boy, I have some real tepid indifference towards my own work.
How do you think I feel going through the photos that I take?
Oh, yeah. But regardless of how we feel about our own creative endeavors, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!